Intro?
Yes, please. I'd love to hear your intro.
Welcome to Hypnosis in Action. My name is Stephen Anderson. I am the Outback hypnotist, and today we are going Smartie trekking. Today I have with me Ross Keating,
The Client Orchardist.
the Client Orchardist.
Coffee, yeah.
So so basically you're a farmer.
I help businesses farm their databases of customers and prospects.
Okay.
I like to talk more about it in terms of orcharding rather than farming, because farming can have those connotations of that's killing the livestock. We don't want to kill the customers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do want them to come back.
Right. Okay, that's a fair point. So you've said the downside of farming.
Yeah.
What's the upside of orcharding?
Orcharding,
Is that a real word?
An orchardist. You have an orchardist.
Okay.
And I've got a client orchardist.
Okay.
I like to have people coming back, think about their customers for the long term, because you're in business, what, for another 10 years?
20
years, there you go.
20,
So
30?
if you don't have to keep on, if you could cut your costs maybe by 500% acquiring new customers, would that be a good idea?
That would be a great idea.
And so you've got customers already.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you do orcharding. So orchardists, they don't grow a new tree every year, or very rarely. Banana guys do, as I understand it. But you go back and you want to grow the tree, you've got to nurture it. There's a couple of years before it really bears fruit, so that's like starting out your new business.
Yep.
And then you start bearing the fruit.
It's avocados, 7 years.
Yeah.
With avocados before they bear fruit.
A lot of businesses don't make it past the first 2 years.
Well, that's most of businesses, obviously, is my understanding. Okay, so with all reality,
Yeah.
this show is about you more than it is about your business.
Yep.
Because
Absolutely.
I have been told that you're a pretty impressive bloke.
Well,
Okay.
I'm famous in my own bathtub. Yep.
Huh?
Famous in my own bathtub.
Famous in your own bathtub, and you do things very well, and that's where I'm heading for, because
Right.
my belief is that we all hypnotize ourselves every day.
Yes.
And by saying that, I mean the thoughts and the actions that we do basically come from a part of our mind that we have no control over.
Yeah, it is.
And by doing the things we do, we confirm it every day. Can you tell me something you do different than most people out there do every day?
Every day I just say to myself that I am successful, and I will be more successful because I believe in my goals, that I can achieve them, that I've got the ability, the experience, the knowledge, the passion, the resources, the skill, the team, and the tools to help people achieve their objectives, and in doing so I'll help them get mine. And I say to that myself every day. Some days I say it out loud, some days I think it, but I say it every day. I have this.
You actually said it very well there, like it was very practiced. Like you do repeat it time after time after time.
I do.
That's a practice that I have tried, and that was not that beneficial to me.
Yeah.
I don't feel, because in my mind, while I was saying all that, I was getting talk back.
Yeah.
Saying, no, that's bullshit. What do you mean, idiot? Hey?
Yeah, you do. It's all about, you've got to believe it. And that's where I get this, I have it all the time. I think a lot of us have it, that self-belief that can we do this? And you've got to, to me, I've used things that make it better for me. And so from that point of view, I look at it and I've got to believe it.
Okay,
and
so
it took me a while to believe that I had the abilities and the experience.
Tell me about that journey. It took me for a while to believe. Where were you before that?
Well, I was born. We won't go back. But when I was a kid, I wasn't the most confident kid. I was a baby of the family. My sister was 10 years older than me. My brother was 8 years older than me. And I was a baby. So I learned to play on the fact that I was so much smaller and they could do things for me. I could get into trouble. I was a wimp, right? I could do things, and my parents were more lenient. And my dad had a big hand, it was big. But they were just that more lenient when you're that much further down the pack. And I learned to use that wimpiness, but that didn't make me confident when I was doing things. And so kids used to pick on me, and I was bullied at school, or picked on we used to call it an arse at school. I was picked on a lot stuff. And you don't have that confidence and that self-worth. You're always trying to achieve, always trying to get confident about it. Somebody could always do it. I could never run the 100 metres, the 1 mile. I'd always come last. I'd be always the last of the pack. But put me in the cross country, and all of a sudden I started coming up in front of the pack. I could do the distance. You start getting that self-worth. So all my life.
Okay, that's sounding like a Tony Robbins story. Is that a real story? That you were a cross country runner?
Yeah.
At a young age?
Yeah, it's we had it in primary school. We were out there. Right. The guy that I admired most was my best friend, and he and I are still friends today. And he was not a fit. He wasn't lean and mean. He was a bit of a chubby guy. Ron, so I was a bit chubby. But every day, every time we went running out there, he may have come last, but he always completed it. He never cheated. Kids, as you do, I cut through the paddock and stuff like that. Whatever you do. He never did, and he even ran marathons. And he would go out there in howling, southerly, cold, wet evenings. It was Pittsburgh. And he would go and run, and he'd run a marathon. I've never run a marathon in my life. Right. But I used to go cross country.
How far is cross country? How far do you
go? Well, back in school days, I think 5 or 10 Ks was about the average. Okay. We used to, high school was about 10 K, I think, cross country. I can't remember. Yeah. It's too far back. But I used to do that running, and I grew up on farms. But that running and doing the long distance, and that's what I've always found. If you give me a task to do short term, I'm not quick. I do a lot of stairwell questioning. I'll get out of the car and say, if only I'd said that differently. Things like that. But if I've got time, and that's what I do in my life, is start doing things on a regular basis on term, and that's where you get the success from that point of view. And that's the cross country is really it. You go through the distance, you've got to keep on going at it, and saying that that little wee affirmation every day. You've got to say it, and you've got to believe it. And each of those things I mentioned are abilities or skills, or have something you need to do, and you've got to be confident in what you're doing. If you want to I've got the team. I don't employ people, but I work with people like Lauren Clement, and I get the specialists to do those things. So I have a team of people around me to do it. Mortgage brokers, financiers, accountants, bookkeepers. If I go to a client, I've got it there. So I've got to believe that I've got a good team, and then I can say I've got the team beside me. And say keep on going back. If you Zig Ziglar says it all the time, or he said it all the time. Yeah. If you're giving up people what they want, you'll get what you want, and that's the only way it does it. I've gone for the pot of gold, and the pot of gold doesn't work. Me, and it's all about the sale. And it doesn't work. People don't want the sale. They want to give what they want from who they like.
So, can we go back to your school days?
Yeah, sure.
Were they a good time?
I wouldn't want to go back to school. I did well. I did reasonably okay. I wasn't the ducks of the school or anything, but I wasn't. I passed my exams, but Dad wasn't unhappy with my results. Always remember. Dad's always got to be happy with your results. Right. But no, I learned a lot. I had some pretty good friends. I played a lot of solitary sports. I did play cricket for a while, but it wasn't convenient. So I ended up playing tennis and sort of those type of sports, golf. I had my PT in my last year. Part of my PT in my last year was to play golf. We had to learn golf.
Okay.
What a shame. I love that. So the school was really good, but because you're not one of the in crowd, you're always on the on the limbs, and you want to be on the in crowd.
So how does that feel? Wanting to be in the in crowd.
When you want to be in it,
Yeah.
and you're not, it's really tough. And it does, and I know from other from being an adult, having a child, and seeing them go through, it's a tough experience for anybody doing that. They've got to give their belief, and they're told by these people that you're not in, and people say you're not in. They don't want to be friends because you're not in crowd.
Yeah.
But I learned to be relatively comfortable with myself, and I enjoyed what I did. I had a good life. My parents we never wanted for anything when I was a kid. My dad was a foreman of a sawmill, so I wasn't earning huge money, but they did well, and we went on holidays. We had a beachside holiday batch down the beach, and I always had shoes on there. Once a month we might go out and get fish and chips from somewhere, and that was really so I never wanted as a child. Never felt that I wanted for anything. But my dad, I had the first job interview when I was 18. I went out, we were sitting in a cafe, and he wanted to tell me about the birds and the bees at that stage. That was interesting at the time. At 18 in the middle of a cafe.
Yeah.
The little lady sitting next door having their cups of tea, and he's going to start to try and tell me about the birds and the bees. Yeah, perfect place when you're a little bit unconfident about
my
that.
dad's bird and bees talk comprised of him showing me how to do the fart sound under the arm.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That was our birds and bees talk.
But I came from the country, and I've been working on farms since I was
So
about
you probably had a fair idea.
Yeah. Put the lambs out, the ewes out with the rams, and the bulls with the cows. So I had a bit of an idea about it. But yeah, he sat down with me, and he said, "There's only two things that I really ask you to do, son. So I'd like you to try your best all the time, and if you don't do as well as you can, try harder next time, but always do your best." And he said, "The other thing, son, I would like you to, I know that you do things that sometimes that we would be embarrassed by, but all I ask you to not to do anything that we'd be ashamed of." Those are the two things he wanted everything, all the normal things you want from a child, but he wanted that, and I believe I've lived up to those expectations. I've done some things that they would be embarrassed by, and I can think of those right now. Not that I want to put them on tape, but to be ashamed by, no, I don't believe he would be ashamed of anything I've done.
Okay. So during that conversation, talking about on our way up to the cafe and the opening and the birds and bees talk, we really skipped quickly over school. And while you were talking, one of my most, I guess, worst moments of when I was at school, one of the ones that's still in my mind and I still remember and I'm still ashamed of, jumped in there. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah, sure.
So, grade 3, I was grade 4 in Bundaberg. I was new to a school. And the kids in Bundaberg were country kids.
Yeah.
So when I started in the school, they came up and said, "Hey, do you want to be my friend?" And I'm thinking, wow. And there was this, and it was like it, and it was unusual because I was usually the one on the outer. And there was this one kid, I'm guessing he had polio because he had the calipers on his legs and that type of thing, and scrawny and really a problem child to look at. He was very different to everyone else. And when he came up and said, "Do you want to be my friend?" I said no.
Yeah.
And at grade 4, you don't think that's, but that stuck with me for the rest of my natural life. Till now, anyway. Yeah. And all the hypnosis in the world ain't gonna wipe it out of my mind. I'll tell you that. For a thing.
The schooling, I suppose when I look at it and I think back, because my memories of it are not fantastic, it's not one of those things where I really got a lot out of it, I tend not to think about a lot. a lot. I didn't. So I did okay at school. I was an average, bit of an average student, but I was quite comfortable with that. We got it. But it's, you know, I always like to think when now where I am now is going back and looking back at my career and what I've done and where I've worked. And I was drifted. You know, I remember we were talking about, you know, what would I, you know, tell people, or you know, I emphasise to my daughter is, you know, get some goals in life and do it, because I drifted. It seemed like I lived in a time when I had what 5 or 6 job offers when I left school. You know, I could choose. Anytime I went out looking for a job, I could get a job. It was never a problem. And how seeing that though, but I look back on those and how they influenced my life. I was in Shell Oil for the first 2 years after leaving school, because I worked on farms and stuff like that. I was just in Shell Oil for 2 years, and I learned so much from those people. But you just and you're seeing the corporate life and you're trying to understand. Well, they sent me into Outback Bound, and you know, 21 days in Outback Bound was a really great experience when you're 20 years of age.
What is Outback Bound?
Bound, it's for young people to try and test themselves. You go to a camp and you're running. You go for a 2-mile run, I think it was, or whatever. Every morning you dive into cold waters, the sea from the middle of winter. That's when I went May, I think it was, and you just dived in the water and you did rock climbing and trekking in the mountains and stuff like that. And it was there to test you and give you confidence and give you problem-solving skills. Personal, and getting into a group of 30, 50 guys, I suppose, and girls that you didn't know, and you had to form teams and work with people to solve skill problems, and that gave me, that changed. So I was in Shell Oil, and they put me through that course, and there I decided, we had 3 days where you're in an area made 20 metres by 20 metres by 20 metres, just on the seashore, and the sound. And
how many people?
No, just me.
Right, okay.
But in an area, 20 metres by 20 metres by 20 metres. You weren't allowed to move outside that area, mainly for safety reasons. And you stay there for 3 days. And all I did was I watched the tide go out, the tide come in. For 3 days.
And how does a 20-year-old cope with sitting down for 3 days and watching the tide going out, watching the tide coming in?
Because I'm basically lazy, I didn't find it too much of a problem. But I didn't do a lot of hiking my young days, and so it wasn't too much of a problem. I'm used to my own company and not being on the internet. So being the youngest in the family was like being a sole kid.
Yep. Okay.
But so I did that. But there I decided to join the army, and I went through to officer selection school, and then I went into I was training to be an officer and a gentleman. You can take your guess which one I might not have done so well at. But that would have had the single most impact on my life.
Officer training school.
Yeah.
You learned how to make a bed?
Yeah. No, I didn't make. You made a bed really well. Iron shirts. I ironed my own shirts still. My wife didn't like being asked to iron it again. Right. But yeah, you do those, but really the thing that it taught me was about getting up, getting back, falling down and getting back up. And the one that taught me was stress. No matter how much stress you've succeeded or ended that point, and if you were stressed and under pressure or whatever, you completed the task, whether you completed it completely or not, you completed it to the satisfaction. You didn't drop out.
Yeah.
Right? And that has stayed with me, because if you did that, I always knew I could take that a little bit more. Didn't matter how much more, and it became a competition. Like the bit I used to like was competing against the PT instructors. And that was an exercise of futility, because those guys do 10 hours a day of 7:30, 365 sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you'd go and try and take them on their game, and they would push you to your limits. But you kept on going around. giving it another go. And the whole thing about those things in the army were about finding solutions, taking the pressure, getting back up, and that's what life's all about. You know, you and I get in life, and you're in business. People in business,
there's a lot of getting back up in business.
That's right, and then in life, you know, what I find when I work with people is I look at like you do, getting me to talk about my life, right? And where are the pressure points in your life? And if that pressure is there, if you can find it, so many people find it really tough, but if you can find a way through that solution and stay with it, it will come out, and you can take it. And I believe that gives you the fortitude just to keep on going. I mean, you've told me a bit earlier on about what you were doing. How did you do what you do with the changes and the challenges you find?
Changes and challenges are something that I think I really look forward to, and some of the changes that I'm going through right now are actually very exciting, and it's actually a part of me learning what I do. The job I do now, the hypnosis, it's all about it's not a control thing, it's an empowerment thing.
Yeah.
And every time you stop and think about something, there is a corresponding something in your body. Okay, so if you're thinking stressed, and I had this experience just recently where I was very heavily stressed, and I don't do stress, so this was a rather unique situation for me. And to the point where someone came up to me and said, "Hey, is everything all right?" And I stopped and thought, "Oh." And I stood there and I searched my body for that something. And I just sat with it, and I went, "This is so cool," because that's all it is. It's a well, if we want to go right into the neuroscience, it's two neurons jumping or together. And I've forgotten the word there, but two separate neurons from separate parts of the brain acting together in a specific circumstance. That was a thought happening in my mind and a reaction in my body. And that reaction in my body was one of stress, and the whole thing went almost cataleptic, to almost froze me. It was just so cool to realise, here I am. I'm doing something I haven't done for so long, and I recognise it, and I know what to do. And that, sorry, that's a big experience.
It is. And that's what it's about, is finding those things inside you. So how do you the coping mechanisms and the thing to drive you to get back on. And the other thing is the goals. To me, I look at myself, my goals, and we all have our life stories. It's amazing how we have these challenges in our lives, but that's what gets me back up. And I to me, my family, my wife, my daughter are important to me, and I like to think that everything I do, I'm actually doing for them, and because they're in my life is for me. I get the benefit. They're in my life, and that's the wonderful thing about it. They have the ultimate goal for me. Is to, it doesn't matter what it is, you've got to keep going, and you've got to. The road is. We talk about planning. People hate planning. Setting a goal in life.
People hate planning at every age of their life. But let's talk a bit more, because you used the term pressure point. And you said that there were many of them in your officer training. Pick out a big pressure point for me. Let's talk about that.
What in training or in life?
In life.
In life. Well, just I went through a while ago with the GFC. That hurt. That hurt, and I had a really good income coming in and things like that. And all of a sudden, it wasn't working. The GFC kicked in. I lost a major contract, and it took virtually 100% of my income.
Right.
And we had a mortgage, and it wasn't that big at that time. So I did a bit of a silly thing, and I talked about with the wife, and we increased the mortgage. But the income wasn't going there. And she said, well, go and get a job. And I didn't. I wanted to carry on doing my consulting thing. You know?
Yeah.
And I hadn't figured out what it was at that stage. I was a consultant, but there's 100,000 other consultants out there, right? And so I was doing it, and so we were burning through the cash.
Yeah.
And you had to find that point. And then one day, she came in and she had these bills in her hand. And she said, what are these? And they were overdue notices, right? And I said, they're overdue. She said, where are we? And I told her what the situation was, which was pretty dire. And she says, well, why didn't you tell me? What are you going to do about it? Get off your rear end and do something about it. Yeah, I can. I never do. It's not. And she got me to go out. You know, and she said, really? You're still going to do consulting? You maybe can go to school. So I actually went out and got some casual work. I worked at night time. And so I was working in Ipswich, in the dairy farms at night time, trying to get cash. I'd work in the cool store. I'd work from maybe 3:30 or something like that to 1 o'clock in the morning or something. And then I'd get up in the morning, or if it's a night shift, I'd go from say 10 to 6 and sleep for 4 hours, do my business. But that got it. You had to keep on going, knowing that it was there. And that's a pressure point. I mean, you imagine, I was just getting maybe 4 to 5 hours sleep in a day, and you had to be positive, down. But it worked. But that was the pressure point. You got to get that out.
And what did you gain from that pressure point?
Just from the fact that I had to do something, and it's not what I wanted to do. Did I want to be working and moving crates of milk? No. But I did it the best I possibly could, and the guys that I worked with were really, the guys and women I worked with were really nice people. They treated me like one of the team. Yeah. Once I proved myself I could actually work. And that was a good experience. And I think, to me, that what I take from it is it doesn't matter what you do. You can, as long as you do it to the best of your ability and you find a way. That's the path I wanted to go down, but I had to take the deviation. Yeah. And you can't see the deviation that's going to come up or when it's going to come up. But if you've got the goal, the ultimate goal, that's where it is. I still wanted to be a consultant, so I wasn't giving up the dream. I just had to take a bit of a harder road, and that's, to me, a good part of it.
That's a big part of small business. I've known so many small business people that are running their business 12 hours a day and they're driving a cab at night. And it's just amazing.
You've got to do it. But to me, that was the pressure point when the wife comes up and says, "What are these? What are we doing?" And you have to take responsibility, because I was putting my head in the sand. The head was in the sand, and that was. I didn't want to face that reality that I was failing, and it takes that. And by the way,
want to face that reality that I was failing. That's interesting. That's the way you put that. Isn't that something so common with all of us?
It is. It is. My daughter kind of just jokingly, said me a thing one day. She said, "Dad, you're not ugly. You're just getting old. I'm just helping you face reality." Right. But it's just the fact that I'm aging. She said, gave it to me when she was in early high school, I think it was. But that to me is the same. If you face the reality and if you take responsibility for it, then you can actually do something about it. But and the weight comes off your shoulders, because when you take control, and that's one of my other sayings, take control by taking action today, take one step at a time. And all of a sudden, the relief can come, because you can't change anything until you take action. And you can't take action and change until you identify what you want to change from. So if you don't take a stock of where you are, how on earth are you going to change? I want to have $1 million. Well, compared to what? How close are you? Where are you at? I want to be the best in my field. Well, what's your field? I said I was a consultant. but which type of consultant was I? So by identifying that point, we use that pressure point like that.
So you're in that pressure point. You're carrying around milk crates at night, consulting through the day. Then what happened?
Well, then life got a bit better. I focused on what type of consultant that I wanted to be, and I started believing. I saw the difference I was making, because as you get on and doing that type of thing, and I've been really good. I was really good at what I used to do in corporate life, but translating into business, and you think, am I good? Because the business people are really smart people. Owners and executives of business are pretty smart people, and they can smell a rat a mile off. And they can also, they like to see that you can contribute, what you change, what do you do, what's the difference you make, and they can smell that. They can sense it instinctively, because that's why they've got a business. They did think, because they do a lot of things initially instinctively. But I got to the stage where I knew the differences I was making. I could show, I could demonstrate to people with results what they were. And so that gave me confidence and belief in myself that I was there. And then,
how important do you think that confidence and belief in yourself is? And we come right back to the beginning. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it does come. It always goes back to, if you don't believe in yourself, and if you don't believe in what you're doing, you're not. You should stop and have it, as I say, sit under the palm tree, sit down, and what do you really want to do? Because if you're not happy doing what you're doing, you're not going to be happy. And if you're not happy, you're not going to get that bit outside you. And if you've got to go, even if you're in a career and you're employed or you own a business, if you're happy what you're doing, you'll do it so much more better, because things won't be a problem. And you can find a solution. You'll look for a solution. But if you're not happy in something, you'll look to avoid it. I wasn't happy with my money, and I looked to avoid it.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, okay. And it's a straightforward fact from there. But yeah, going back to that, if you're not happy, you can't change. You've got to know what that is. You've got to be willing to change. And I've done a lot of changing, and you need to be more adaptable. Now, change is required more, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you have to be ready to be flexible, because the technology drive is driving change, and people are different. I find it harder to sell now than it was even 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It's a different type of process of connecting. And so you have to learn the new ways and use new ways. So you have to change, and you've got to have that confidence in yourself of what it is and identify it. And that's why, I talk about Lauren Clement a little bit. I'm a good fan of her, because I know a lot about marketing and all those things, but she drills into yourself, right? And she made me look at what is it I really want to do, and I kept on drifting around this thing. And by identifying what I can do, it gives you the confidence. What am I good at? And in life, what am I good at? And I'm good at relationships. Trying to interact and get people to coordinate together.
Right.
And
can you go into that a little bit more? When you say interact and try and get people to coordinate together, what else?
I want to go, how are you saying, going back to our childhood, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't very good at fighting. My brother, I'd say, oh, Keith, come and help me. And he said, well, fight it out yourself. And I had to do it, and I wasn't very good at it.
Yeah.
And so I hate conflict. And I would say, comes back from there. I really, really avoid conflict as much as I can.
Yeah.
And I'll try to be a peacemaker and find a solution that we would have for that.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, is a real key part. So I'm always looking for the solution, because I know I don't know everything. I'm one person. How can I possibly know what 7 billion people doesn't pass the common sense test? And so I'm looking for a solution all the time with in my personal life, and if I can help people in some way, and I'll do that if I can, and that gives me the satisfaction, and I see people that are happy, and that gives me the drive.
Yeah,
it gives me drive. And so when I'm in my life, my professional life, my role is getting people to look at the challenges and finding the solutions for them and who they can talk to about it. Just like you get people to talk about, this is probably a good idea for me. I hate opening up about myself, and I've opened up about myself on here. No, we're going to cut the tapes, destroy them. From that point of view, it is getting it and understanding it. But to me, if you can find a solution that gets both people, I don't believe in. You have to believe that you're going to win, but you've got to do it with integrity, and it's not at the expense of the other person. They will lose, but they don't have to be rubbed into the dirt into doing it. There will always be winners and losers in the world. I don't believe in the theory that everybody's a winner. There will always be poor people, and there will always be rich people. There'll be people in the middle, somewhere in the scale. And a team, somebody will be playing tennis, or you're playing footy or cricket or whatever. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. And that side of it is, but you don't have to make them feel bad about it. You can still uplift them. And in business, when you're trying to deal with people with their lives, and just in life, not just in business, but in life, if you can make them feel that they've still got something to contribute, then you'll have a better community, a better society, than if you put people down. Everybody's got something to contribute, and sometimes I get surprised at, when I used to work in factories and being around, even in corporate life, I was where there were factory environments, and the solutions that the people that were working on the factory floor, they were dummies. They might not have had the interest and the skills to do what they go into management side of life. But a lot of them want to do the best they can, and they've got some really good ideas, and they can make a difference. And if you can harness that in a business, it's fantastic. And if we can harness that in lives, I learned so much. Just if I can give an example, I had a client, and they had a business. All I did is, I had ideas, but we wanted to get a particular set of ideas. So I actually went to the Southern Cross University at Gold Coast, and we came up at the entrepreneurial class of students, first year students doing an entrepreneurial course, could help us by doing a project and looking at the business and coming up with other options that we looked at. And those students came up with some ideas that I would never have thought about under me. That, it just shows if you ask it. And they got a real pleasure because they
doing something real.
But it gave them, the client actually, they had to do presentations on their things, and the client was able to use that. So you'd think, well, they're just university students. But that's the hard part of life. They felt good about it, the client felt good about it, and I felt good about it. We're winners. But I do that in life. I hated seeing, the children today. My daughter played soccer, and she was in teams and that, and you'd see that some of the parents taking the kids off, berating them after the game. You should have been doing this, you should have been doing that. Oh, it used to aggravate me because my daughter was playing goalie, right, in soccer, and she's played futsal for Australia in the age group stuff, been to Brazil and New Zealand before, and she was meant to go to the UK, so she's pretty good at it. But she played outdoor soccer as well. But we said, her coach, when she was her first soccer coach, said to her, "There's one thing I want you to remember, or two things. You will not save 100% of the goals that are keeping your goal. But I want you to try and save 100% of those. And I added a third thing, which is I want you to have fun doing it.
Yeah.
I said, no matter what you do, as long as you try your hardest to do it and do your best every time, you get up and smile and have fun and do it fairly, you will be right. And I'll be proud of you. I don't care whether you didn't win or not. So when she came off, she never got berated. And that's to me, you don't tell people off for doing the best. Never got it. Often told, you can do better. Try harder.
You don't tell people off for doing their best. Okay, I'm going to pull you up there.
Sure.
Let's see, how are you hypnotizing yourself every day? You truly believe that little rant you began the thing with about how
I'm
can
successful.
you say that again? Yes.
I am successful, and I will be more successful because I believe in myself, and others believe in me, that I have the abilities, the experience, the knowledge, the passion, the resources, the skill, the team, and the tools to help people to achieve what they want to achieve, and in doing so, I will be successful.
You see, I think most people, when they say something like that, are not actually believing it, but you have something coming out of your pores when you say that.
Yeah.
That says it's made it past and has wound up in your subconscious mind and is a part of your identity, and that's the thing we need to change to succeed. Our identity saying what we are, and that's what your identity is. On top of that, the always being cheerful is a bloody good habit to have, and that is a great way to hypnotise not only yourself but a lot of people around you. And the last thing is that you should never punish someone for doing the best they can. Is another belief, another way that you live your life that is hypnotising yourself every day. So that's my thoughts on why you have been asked to come into this car, while someone pointed to you and said, "There's a pretty spectacular bloke." That's my thoughts.
Thanks, Stephen. And it's really good to sometimes do that and hear those summaries, like you just were summarising, some of some key points, because we don't take the time sometimes to let that out. Talk about it and let somebody else see that different part. But to me, what am I going to be unhappy about really? I mean, got a room, being in a family. I get to come up here, I'm not working. This is not work. This is work with a regular tough life. It's a first world problem.
For me in the editing room.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So, next question, of course, is, and it's an offer I make to everyone who climbs in the car. Is there something inside you that you'd like to change hypnotically? Because if you would, we can give that a go right now.
I don't know what I would change. I really don't. There's no. I just want to be my better self. I want to be I want to be the best that I can be at what in my life and my profession and maintain that belief.
Okay. Then how about we just have a play?
Sure.
Okay. Can you say you want to be your better self?
My best self.
Your best self.
Yeah.
Okay. So, can you tell me the last time you were actually being your best self?
I'd say from a professional self.
Your best self.
That's interesting. It comes back to the definition of where it is. Like my best self is being the best, I suppose, ultimately, really doing everything right for my family.
Okay. So when was the last time you were doing everything right for your family?
If I had to put that, I would struggle with that. I suppose I see shortcomings all over the show. I love them. I love my wife and daughter dearly and things like that. But I haven't defined what my best self is. That's possibly what I'm all about. Is finding what is my best in relation to my family, for example. What would be my best self? And I think if I think about it, it's not just my family. It is providing, making sure that my wife and daughter don't have to worry about our financial situation. Now, my daughter's left home; she's 24, family. So, but you know, my goal is in 8 years' time that we're in a financial position that my daughter won't have to worry about.
Which is all fine and good. That's the
yeah,
goal.
but the goal.
Let's talk about getting towards that goal.
That's right.
Let's find a place where you were your best self.
That's defined, yeah, because when I define it back.
Define what else?
But it's contribute to the community. You know, when I was in Woody, and things were starting to go right. I was putting the Woody in the honour stone, there by Samari's the college then. I used to put up the flag every day, every day.
Okay.
And I was contributing to the community just by that little bit. I used to mow the stuff. But that gave me a sense of pride. Things about it. The income was coming in, and the family was, we were getting pretty good.
So let's stop there. So at that point, when you were there and pulling up that flag each day, you're saying it gave you a feeling of your best self?
Yeah.
Okay, describe that feeling.
I was relaxed.
Okay, so take yourself back there.
Yeah.
Feel yourself back there on that lawn, pulling that flag up.
Yeah.
And you can see you're starting to smile.
Yeah.
So what's happening inside your body right now?
You're seeing it.
What you're seeing, what you're feeling.
Just feeling relaxed and feeling a connection with people past.
Okay, so
past
that
life.
feeling of relaxed.
Yeah.
Where is that feeling of relaxed?
It's around here, around the heart. Yeah.
Okay, so that relaxed feeling around the heart. What else is there about that relaxed feeling around the heart?
You're feeling good. You can I can feel it now. Sort of, it's an exuberance and an outgoing, and there's an emotion, and it makes me think about my family and my friends.
So that feeling that you're feeling now, that exuberance, that's right there.
Yeah.
Can you put a shape to that feeling that's right there?
A shape?
Yeah.
No, I can't. No, I don't. It's just like it's a core.
It's a core. So it's a core like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got color ball, I suppose. Dimension, but
How large is it?
It's pretty big.
It's fairly big.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it have a colour?
My instinct is to say red.
Okay, so it's red.
It's just to say red because that's what came to my mind.
And it's a core, and it's right there.
Yeah.
And are you feeling it now?
Yeah, when I think about it. Yeah.
Okay. So feel it now.
Yeah.
And notice it, and take yourself back to that lawn where you're pulling up that flag.
Yeah.
And as you're pulling up that flag and feeling the feelings that you're having, and noticing in the centre of there that best place. Would you say it's that best place feeling?
Yeah,
it's that best place.
It is, yeah.
Okay. So can you just make that red core a little bit bigger for me?
I can't. It just seems to be, if I think about that, so
let's stop thinking and start feeling. Okay.
I'm a bullet kind of guy, Creativity is abstract bullet points. Don't know. Standing there and pull up that flag,
stand there and pull up that flag, feel that red core. Actually, take yourself there, close your eyes if you want to, and know that you're there right now.
I can see it.
And as you're there right now, can you see the flag?
Yeah.
Can you see the lawn? Can you feel the ropes in your hand?
Yeah.
And can you feel the core in your chest?
Yeah.
And is that your best?
That is my best.
That is your best.
that there was
That is
where I
you
was,
at your best.
that's me at the best.
Okay, and now you and I have just created that feeling.
That's pretty damn good.
It's a pretty damn good feeling. And from memories, from thoughts, you've created it.
Yeah.
You've created it. That feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, the next time you want to do something,
Yeah, that thought.
don't create the thought.
Feel it.
Because you're doing something is you thinking, correct?
Yeah.
You doing something while having and feeling at your best.
That's right.
What do you think's going to happen?
You're going to do your best.
You're going to be your best. My feeling is.
Because it really doesn't, and it's not necessarily dependent on the activity you're doing, you just got to be feeling your best and do your best, be your best. That's very good.
Is that very good? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
because
my suggestion is practice it.
yeah.
Practice going back to that lawn, feeling those ropes in the hands, seeing the flag in your eyes, feeling the core, the red core inside your chest, and then do what it is you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a little habit.
That's another bad habit to do in conjunction. That's interesting about, that whole saying that I go through. It started off with just a bit, I'm successful, I'll be more successful.
Yep.
And then it didn't have any meaning, because how was I going to do that? So I had to add to it. And as I added to it, I'd find other components that were important. And each of those poems only came from experience,
Yep.
knowledge, and thinking about it. And that's where doing that. It's a good little cafe, that one.
Yes. Change hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that was, going through that.
I suppose there's one thing we should really do.
Sure.
We're about to wrap up.
Okay.
Tell the people where they can find you, how they can contact you, all that sort of stuff.
You can contact me anywhere on Twinkton.
Twinkton?
Well, that's a new one, isn't it? LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. You can find, if you search for Ross Keating, the Client Orchardist, there's only one person like me, really. And you'll recognise me by my tie, that bright
Yes,
tie.
oh yes, that's right. I haven't pointed that out. You are the very first person to come Smartie trending in a tie.
Why not?
Sensational.
Well, people who do know me might not recognise me.
Without it.
Without it, that's right.
Cool. Ross,
Thank you.
I've enjoyed this. So no email addresses, no phone numbers, nothing.
They can find me.
They've got social media.
Social media,
We have social media. And, I reckon it makes life so much harder because you've got your text message, you've got your phone call, you've got your Facebook Messenger, you've got this messenger, you've got that, and your WhatsApp, you've got everything, and you've got to check them all.
Yeah.
But that's,
Well, I have a CRM, so I can look at it one spot.
Right. Okay. Ross, thank you. Learned lots today.
Thank you, Stephen. I mean, that's been a really great experience. I've actually really enjoyed it. I didn't know what to expect from it, but I've actually enjoyed talking to you, and thank you for getting me to open up, because some of those things, do I really want people to know that? But now you know it. And so thank you very much for having me on the show, and thank you.